Hey everyone, today we're going to be checking out this chair, both unboxing as well as quality and how it is to use. It is the FANTASYLAB Big and Tall Series Gray Chair. The box the chair comes in is pretty well packed, especially considering the size of the chair overall, and it appeared that things were pretty well and safely packed in this box, but we'll get back into that one later. Inside the box you get everything you need to assemble the chair, as well as these fun white gloves, and I figured we could, give the chair the white glove treatment. It took me about 30 minutes or so to assemble the chair, so pretty standard stuff. It came with a lot of the screws pre-bolted in, and then you had to remove them, then align the piece, and then, re-screw them in, which I found kind of odd, but maybe it's just helpful in making sure that all of the pieces are there. The instructions do specifically say to not use a drill, but I just, I did. Whoops. So just when assembling this chair, a few things did stand out to me. One, the quality of material seemed pretty high, to be honest. This chair goes for about $270, depending on what market you're getting it in. But the metal base was very sturdy, everything seemed to have an appropriate amount of heft to it, and the actual mechanical components seemed just pretty well built. I did have some issues assembling the chair, specifically with attaching the back part of the chair, the backrest, to the base of the chair. And if you can see here, I'm kind of struggling around fitting pieces in, but the metal bracket did have a little bit of some rough edges, and so when you have metal with rough edges next to, a sort of softer leather-ish type material, you can see a tiny bit of a tear actually that I ended up causing in the chair while assembling it. While this will get covered with a plastic cap in the future, it just felt like something I should point out, where it felt like a vulnerable part of the assembly process that I think could have been designed a little bit better. Going back to that packaging comment I made earlier, this is my second big issue with the chair that I had. So it came teared, and if you can see in all of these current shots, there's actually this tear in the bottom part of the chair. I reached out to the customer service team and they sent me a replacement, and they did reassure me that if you had any issues with your chair like I did, they would be swift in remedying that, and they were in my case, but I do occasionally have worries that when I run into issues, I might be prioritized in terms of customer service, so I just wanted to make this also very clear. I've always found gaming chairs a little bit interesting because I think a lot of people who need chairs for long stretches of time will get something like a high quality office chair as opposed to, gamery branded chairs, because they just have this reputation for being lower quality at a higher price when compared to other ergonomic office chairs. I will say though that the overall quality of this chair is the best of the gamer type chairs that I have tested on this channel. The chair that I use on the daily is this Herman Miller Aeron that I picked up at a furniture reseller. They refurbish chairs and then resell them at a lower price. I spend most of my waking hours in that chair, which is known for its lasting comfort and ergonomics, so I can't expect this gaming chair to even come close, to be honest, but this type of Herman Miller does start at over $1,000, so you're getting a much better value with this gaming chair from FANTASYLAB. In fact, the FANTASYLAB chair is actually significantly quieter than the Herman Miller. That leads me to use my FANTASYLAB chair when I'm working on things that are more audio dependent. So if I'm on a meeting or if I'm just talking to people, I'd probably want to have this chair just because it's way less intrusive with all the clicks and groans that the Herman Miller Aeron does have. Styling is something subjective, but in my opinion, I do think this chair actually looks really cool. I like the two-tone dark look, and all the materials just kind of work together, and I like how it looks. This is a pretty firm chair. The materials feel nice, and if you care about that sort of thing, there's some wrinkles in there that you can see, but overall, it's very supportive in a firm way. It says that it's a breathable fabric, but I'm coming from a mesh chair, so this is by nature just gonna have way more heat associated with it. I've been using this chair to edit videos for a little bit now, and it does feel fairly comfortable for using for, 3 hours at a time. I would say it is not nearly as ergonomic as a dedicated ergonomic chair. You can see a little bit of curve for lumbar support here, and while that certainly helps, it's not like it's adjustable or anything like that. This chair is a part of the Big and Tall series, so it's supposed to be for people who are 5'8" and above, and if you're on the heavier side, it should be good for you as well. I would say it is very sturdy, and I've talked about the build quality before with the metal base and just the general well put together materials, but it is very sturdy and you can see me rocking on it. There's no indication that this wouldn't hold up over long use if you're a heavier person. You'll find in the instruction manual that there's also information about things like the adjustable armrests as well as tilt locking the chair. The armrests are 4-way adjustable, so they go up, down, and then in and out as well, so closer to you or farther away from you. The chair also has 2 levers on the bottom, one for locking the tilt, which I'll show in a little bit, as well as height adjustment on the other side. It's actually not as height adjustable as I would have thought. It only changes a few inches, and I'll show you a clip of that as well. And there is also tension control for the tilt. Here you can see me raise and lower the chair, and as I noted, it doesn't actually move a whole lot. I tend to be someone who likes to sit up pretty high when I'm playing games, but low when I'm doing things like editing or filming, and it's just not quite as much as I would have wanted, but it's not so limiting where I feel like it's a deal breaker. Next up we have the tilt locking, which is actually pretty fun. You can lock the tilt at any back position or angle. So here we can just flip the lever on the side and now it's locked back like this. This is actually great if you're just lounging or relaxing. It's a feature that's pretty fun. The chair comes with this additional cushion, which they say is a gel cooling pillow, but it does not feel very cool to me. They say it can be used as either a bottom cushion or a lumbar support, but I'm just the type of person who doesn't tend to like additional cushions. I always feel like they make me a little bit unbalanced and never quite get used to the feeling of them, so I typically just leave them off or to the side. I went so long in this video without talking about gaming because I just don't really think gaming is a chair feature. It's really just an aesthetic, but the sturdiness and adjustability of this chair do make it pretty solid for gaming. Like I said, I like to sit up a little bit higher, and I do wish that this chair had a little bit more height adjustability, but otherwise it is a perfectly decent gaming chair. But it doesn't boost your FPS or increase your headshot percentage. Sorry. To wrap things up, I think this is a pretty good gaming style chair for the price. I had some issues with assembly and potentially even shipping, but overall I think the build quality is actually quite solid and should last a fair while, assuming there's no metal that comes in contact with the outer layer of the rest of the chair. Big shout out to FANTASYLAB for letting me check this chair out. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you again real soon.